What's up everybody? Let's talk about the Canon 4K camera rumor. How's it going everybody? I'm Original Dobo. You're watching Phones, Drones, and Tech, and if you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button at the end of this video. Canon is set to hold a private event to announce a brand new camera that they are going to be launching. Now this event is scheduled for dealers, so anybody who sells Canon products is going to be invited to this event. Now they're set to launch a camera before March 1st, so now until, anytime from now until March 1st, we have a window of 2 weeks or so that we'll see this brand new camera. Now, rumors have it that this camera is going to be a 4K camera. Earlier this month, late last month, a rumor surfaced with an image of a camera that resembled like a G7X Mark III, and they said that this was going to be the camera that's Canon's first ever, and that just turned out to be an absolute hoax. Somebody just drafted up this pretty awesome image of a camera that they hoped that Canon was going to be releasing, but it ultimately turned out to be fake. Now Canon is back again with another camera, and there's been patents filed for certain names, and one of those names called the M50. Now anytime Canon sets to introduce a new camera, typically they'll file a patent ahead of time, so it's easy to see what's coming down the pipe. So with the M50, the M typically signifies a mirrorless camera, at least in the Canon world. Now again, these are all rumors, so Canon can totally disappoint us at their own leisure, but I'm really hoping to see at least a mirrorless camera that shoots 4K that's affordable. Now when I'm talking about affordable, I'm also being realistic. I'm hoping to see this camera be sub $1,200. You have a lot of cameras out there on the market right now that are not really affordable that shoot 4K. Sony is like one of the biggest ones that are like, up in the $2,000 range for their better cameras. Now Canon does have the 5D Mark III, but you're talking about a $3,500 camera, which really isn't practical for YouTube because the quality of the 4K that it shoots is cinema quality, which isn't really the codec that I would use if I'm shooting videos. Now, I'm really hoping that this camera is small and compact, Canon 6D, and you can see it's a very big camera. My Canon Rebel EOS SL2 is a lot smaller than this, about half the size of this almost, and is really comparable to a mirrorless camera that you would find today. Now, if Canon did release this as a 4K, it would totally compete with the likes of Panasonic's offerings. I think Panasonic is producing some of the most affordable and reliable 4K cameras on the market right now. Even though I don't like their autofocus system or their colors, they are still better than Sony in a lot of ways, and pricing is one of those ways that they totally win. I would be really disappointed if Canon announced a camera that isn't 4K, because then they would totally fall behind the pack with the standard of cameras today. Another thing I would like to see is better slow motion, more frames per second. It's time that they bring 120 frames per second to cameras that are more compact. This iPhone shoots 120 frames per second. Hell, it even shoots 240 frames per second in 1080p. So Canon, if you're listening, if this can do that, you can totally fit that tech inside of one of these DSLR cameras. I'll include some links in the description below that talk about this camera a little bit more in depth and what we could expect from their event. Anyways, I just want to talk about this and see what you all think. Are you sticking with Canon if they don't release a 4K camera? And if they do, what do you think? Are you gonna upgrade to it? I know some of you probably have bought an 80D, maybe a 77D, or one of the other lineups that have happened. But right now, I think if you're going to buy a camera, at least a Canon camera, I would probably hold off and wait till after this event, so you're not burning money if they're going to release something 4K. And even at that, is 4K even important to you? I know I switched back to shooting the 1080p just because with YouTube, I really don't need 4K, but it would be nice to sort of punch into shots and be able to get a little bit more detail, or at least down res to 1080p and get a little crispier shot. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Again, if you like this content, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you loved it, make sure you hit that sub button just down here below. That's gonna do it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.